Hi, everyone. Great to see you, Stephen. Nice to meet you.
Hello, Vivian. Greetings from the Sur de Bronx.
Yes, and greetings from very super sunny Finland, where we have almost 24-hour sun coming up soon. And we have our first day of summer finally. Isn't it great? 21 degrees. Everyone, I'd love to introduce you to Mr. Stephen Ritz. He is the founder of an organization called the Green Bronx Machine. And his startup is a little bit different from the standard startups. Most of them are about investors and profit, but Stephen is actually a not-for-profit. Stephen, if you want to tell us a bit about what your organization does.
Super. So thanks so much, Vivian. I like to consider myself a startup, but also an entrepreneur, an ecopreneur, and a social entrepreneur. But simply put, here at Green Bronx Machine, we grow vegetables, our vegetables grow students, our students grow schools, and our schools grow happy, healthy, resilient communities. We are the art of growing vegetables aligned to everything we do in schools. So we grow high-performing schools and happy, healthy children.
Yeah, so very interesting about the entrepreneur. Question for you. Why become an entrepreneur?
Why not become an entrepreneur? I mean, who better to work for than for yourself, or in my case, for my community and people I love? Why dream of a dream job when you can design one and literally impact community and people around you? So I always think it's my job to grow something greater. And I grew up with the mindset that people should not have to leave their community to live, learn, and earn in a better one. So I'm putting my stake in the ground right where I live with the people I love the most to build something bigger and grow something greater. And that's exactly what we're doing. One student at a time, one classroom at a time, one school at a time, one school district at a time.
Yeah, let's take a couple steps back here, because probably not a lot of people maybe know or understand the community that you grew up in or the situation that you grew up in. And what made you decide that you needed to start this organization and become an entrepreneur?
That's a great question. And thank you for that kind of level setting. I am a lifelong educator. I grew up with the belief and the hope and the aspiration to play in the NBA. Unfortunately, the NBA did not necessarily share in that dream or have the appropriate wisdom to draft me. So, I became a teacher, not by design, but rather by default, but found that I had a talent as being a teacher. And along the way, realized that there were parts of the system that I felt were not equitable, things that I felt needed a lot of reform. And I myself saw myself as a game changer in a situation that could really do far more than just teach kids content. But really, I always say teaching kids to read and write is cool, but teaching them what counts is even more cool. And in a world of ever-changing technology and opportunity, the ability to get in there and make a difference and make epic happen for yourself is critical. So we launched an organization that really took children who were apart from success and made them a part of success in ways that benefited all of society. And the rest is just history.
Mm. For a lot of European countries, and especially growing up in Finland, I think the people here might not so much understand just how great the inequities or the lack of opportunity is for these kids. Could you tell, before you started this organization,
thank you for
tell us
that.
a bit about that?
So I'll give you some, I am in the poorest right now. I come to you from the poorest congressional district in America, some of the highest unemployment. You are twice as likely to die from COVID here than anywhere else in the country for a variety of reasons. Some of the highest rates of crime, some of the highest rates of food insecurity, some of the highest rates of eviction, some of the lowest median income in the nation, some of the greatest health disparities for children, adults, and seniors in our country. So there are a lot of things, whether it is design or default, that work against us. And I am not here to demean anybody or anything. I'm saying those are the actual data points of this community, which, by the way, is filled with some of the hardest working, most resilient people you're ever going to want to meet. It's just, be it design or default or a little bit of both. sometimes the system is not exactly fair. And for me, food justice is racial justice. I started working in a school that had a 17% graduation rate. So Finland is known for graduate. Imagine going to a school where only 17% of the children graduate. Imagine going to a school where there were 258 felony crimes in a year. These are things, and I'm not blaming people, these are things that are systemically created and perpetuated unless we come up with very disruptive ways to stop that. And my work is about disruption, innovation, ideation, and changing the nation.
And how did you end up deciding to do it through food and gardening? What made you come to the conclusion that, oh, this is the way to really disrupt and make a change?
First and foremost, I'm an accidental farmer. As I shared with you earlier, Vivian, I do not even know the formula for photosynthesis. I have no science background. Ironically, I was charged with teaching a bunch of 17 young adults who came with some significant baggage, whether it was legal, personal, emotional, social, or educational. And I was asked to teach them science with no science background, and literally put out a call on the internet for my friends and colleagues to help me. Said, send me anything. What do I do with these children? I have no science background. And, you know, about 3 weeks after that frantic call, I get a call to the principal's office. Mr. Ritz, come to the principal's office. You know, the kids are thinking I'm getting fired. I'm wondering what's going on. I look at the principal's secretary, and right there on her desk is a box. And I'm like, yes! Like a kid on Christmas, I'm opening up the box thinking this is going to be the answer to all my problems. And I look inside, and there are these things that are like onions. And I'm like, WTF, what are these things? And like literally walk out of the principal's office dejected, my head between my legs, walked back to my classroom, took the box, threw it behind the radiator, and forgot about it. Fast forward about 10 weeks later, there's a huge fight in the class. Kid goes after a young lady goes after a guy, and the young man reaches under the radiator and comes out and pulls up a handful of flowers. It turns out that those onions were actually bulbs, and the bulbs were forced by the heat and the steam and the water of the radiator, and there were hundreds of flowers. And for me, that's a very teachable moment. So we dug deeper, and it turns out that year, my students and I, we planted 25,000 daffodil bulbs across New York City for the Parks Department in commemoration of 9/11. My most marginalized kids and lowest performing kids in the schools were regarded as heroes. And we gave birth to an environmental movement that came at a very critical time in New York City, where we were talking about wastewater management, stormwater management, environmental remediation, the green roof movement, and just also prior to the local food movement and prior to the urban ag movement. So literally, I was able to connect these young people with living wage jobs, and the rest was history. And then we also started learning that plants were food, because we started with ornamental plants and then learned that we could grow food. And I had no idea food was growing. Now, one of the interesting things about food is living in a community like mine where people are both food insecure and food challenged. We have very limited means and access to fresh fruits and vegetables. So I didn't even know that you could eat these things or grow these things. So when you grow them, it was literally a ticket to print money. It was a license to feed ourselves. Every single person knew someone in the community who was food insecure, because we're in a food insecure community. So it was a great grow something greater. And now 165,000 pounds of vegetables later, grown with adorable kids using 90% less water and 90% less space. We're growing happy, healthy children, high-performing schools, and enough food in classrooms to feed ourselves week after week. So I'm growing environmental justice and social justice equity warriors. It's been a blessing.
It's amazing, like the magic of something so simple. Like you toss a bunch of onions.
Man, plants are cool.
In the back radiator. And it sparks this whole kind of cascading revolution. It's just like, I didn't know we could grow our own food. I didn't realize we could solve our own problems, or at least try to through,
I often say,
through growing our own food and sourcing it.
For years, people have gotten rich off the dysfunction of this community. But I often say that, the entrepreneurial moment is that, we are the ones we're waiting for. The answers are right in front of us, and I firmly believe that people shouldn't have to leave their community to live, learn, and earn in a better one. And when you go from being a consumer to a producer, that changes everything. And literally, the seeds that I plant, whether they are physical seeds of plants or seeds in children's brains, that idea of a seed well planted can give you a crop of epic proportions. But when you put a seed in the ground and you see this thing 30 or 60 days later become a massive thing that you can eat, sell, or share, that is wholly inspirational. It was part of why I wrote the book, The Power of a Plant. So, it just got me thinking. And again, it was a best-selling book, and I was a reluctant author. But when the opportunity came for, me to let that seedling hit the sun, we flourish. And people are like seeds. All they need is love and water and some sunlight and some kind, tender, loving care, and amazing things can happen.
I think I'd love to see more of this book. I'm going to just zoom in on you, and why don't you just share a few pages and chat about that?
Sure. So the book is part inspiration, part perspiration, 100% motivation. It's blurbed by 45 of the biggest luminaries in the field. If you look at the back page, it's got Deepak Chopra, Marion Nessel, Will Allen, Nona Evans, Daniel Lubitsky, Tom Colicchio, Chef Jose Andres. I mean, we've done things with people here that have been amazing. But my story is a simple one, is that passion, purpose, and hope can get you anywhere. And that's the entrepreneur's dream. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start in order to be great. And you've got to believe in yourself. And each and every day, not only do I believe in myself, I believe in my community and the ability of my community to do something great. So this book is really our story, and I urge you to buy it, and please buy it off the website.
And I assume naturally, of course, that the proceeds are going to be helping to push your organization.
100% of the proceeds go to support the program.
Thank you for that sneak peek. It looks like a wonderful, fun book.
It is a lot of fun. It comes, just so you know, for entrepreneurs. If you're really greedy, it comes with a double your money back guarantee. If you don't like the book, I'll buy it back for twice the price. That's how confident I am that you'll love the book. That is impressive. Wow. Very nice and very generous of you to give that guarantee. Thank you so much. Good. You're very welcome. For everyone out there, don't be shy and buy the book. Yeah, go to the website, greenbronxmachine.org. Go to the merchandise page, please. Yeah, we'll of course share that website for everyone in case they don't see it. And of course, we'll share it on the links later as well. Also, I think you were talking about you're doing a lot of great projects. You're working with a lot of people right now. I think one of the things that you have coming up is this wonderful documentary about your journey. Right. So that is correct. The book was one piece. It kind of spawned a lot of interest in seeing our program scale nationwide. And I like to say that there's a Bronx in every city, in every community, in every nation in the world. Our very classroom right here has hosted visitors from 60 countries from around the world. But literally at the heart of our work is curriculum. And the curriculum is something we spent years writing and developing. It is an all-you-can-eat academic buffet of high-performing lessons aligned to the art and science of growing food in class. And it's literally transformed schools across America and around the world. And in the process of scaling the curriculum, we were very blessed to have a documentary film that showed not the cult of me, but the cult of pedagogy, of this program taking off in Indiana, Ohio, Virginia, places that were as far away from the Bronx as you can imagine, but in some ways very similar. So the name of the film is called Generation Growth. You can watch the trailer on the Green Bronx Machine website. And it's all about passion, purpose, and hope, and growing something greater. And I couldn't be more excited that the film will actually debut this fall. It's won countless awards in all sorts of film festivals. Yeah, Finland, I think, is one of the things that people always know about Finland is like, oh, it's got the #1 education system. I think we would probably have some teachers over here who would be curious. It's like, do you think like this is a type of curriculum like anyone can adapt, like regardless of culture? I think people in Finland would love it. Some of our biggest adaptors and adaptees have been overseas. Whether it's in Colombia, Egypt, Dubai, Italy, Germany, England, we are really scaling Qatar. We are really scaling around the world. And who doesn't like a high-performing school, a happy, healthy child, and successful and engaged teachers? at the heart of our work is, project-based learning, which is the art and science of growing vegetables indoors using tower gardens and all sorts of technology that really give teachers a hands-on tool in class and give children something they can touch, taste, smell, engage with, and every 30 days have something to eat or share. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. One thing I'm a bit curious about, because ever since COVID has started, mental health has become a serious crisis all over the world, and they're starting to talk about it a lot more. Some local ag tech startups over here have started doing community gardens and stuff like that. So I'd just be interested to hear not just how people have of course the kids have learned and they've learned the science, but how has it been for
That's a great question. Listen,
mental health wise.
So our kids have had it tough. Listen, in my very community, we've lost 28 family members, friends, and colleagues due to COVID. And my losses are very typical of this communities. And, communities like mine are always the hardest hit. But, number one, with food insecurity and food shortages, the best way you can grow your immunity, whether you believe in vaccines or not, is by eating healthy, fresh food. So growing your food and having access to it in your own home, in your own backyard, in your own basement, growing it with 90% less water and 90% less space is really kind of cool. Knowing that no one has touched your food, sneezed on your food, has pesticides on your food, knowing that you can take control of your own food system and your own health outcomes is kind of inspiring. But there is the emotional piece to this, and giving something that is a living, breathing thing. You have life, and you are responsible for producing and maintaining life. With no poop to scoop and no floaters at the top of the tank is pretty cool. Cool thing about plants is they don't even eat their young. So for a lot of children, the ability to have something they can keep in their home, in their windowsill, really makes a difference as well. One of the more interesting projects that we launched prior to COVID was the first foster care run farm in America, the first commercial farm in America run by foster care students. And then we found that during COVID, because there's so much, not only did these boys run a profitable farm, but they loved being there. The social, emotional, mindfulness, wellness, and sense of connectivity and purpose that they felt connected them to this farm and the process in ways that we can't imagine. And even now I see, how many veterans, how many seniors love to farm. They love to and it's not about high production farming. It's about fulfillment and engagement and simply nurturing and taking care of something. I love taking care of my plants. Plants give us so much life. They give us so much to look forward to. So the mental health crisis can be cured by so many ways or alleviated by simply getting back to nature. It's interesting. In Japan, I will share with you this, that part of the post-surgical care traditionally has been taking people and putting them outside in the forest so they can heal with nature and absorb nature and build up their resistance. So culturally, for years, indigenous peoples around the world have understood the healing power of nature. And make no doubt about it, nature is the greatest healing force in the world.
Completely 100% agree with you. I'm also a gamer as well, but I remember that apparently the creator of Legend of Zelda, also from Japan, he actually said the reason he created that game was because he wanted others to experience going out into the forest like he did. Isn't it fascinating how, in a weird roundabout way, nature has inspired so many things, inclling
I think
some
nature
of the most
is the root of
technology.
an inspiration of everything. I've never played a video game in my life. You'll laugh, but I want people to see the forest. I want people to put the screens down. I want them to have fresh air. I want them to see things grow. To me, that's absolutely critical. And, I believe that when we connect children with nature, we connect them with nurture. And when we teach children to nurture, we as a society collectively embrace our better nature. So that's what this movement for me is really all about.
Yeah, and my understanding is you're not just growing, like, of course you're growing overseas, but you're also growing across the country. You're scaling like crazy right now. You were
yes, Green Bronx Machine. We're coming to a city near you. You can purchase our curriculum. It comes with unlimited professional development, training, It has been an award-winning. We are a top 10 health and wellness program in the nation, according to the Harkin Institute. A replica of this very classroom is in the U.S. Botanic Garden. For 3 years in a row, we were named a top 100 educational innovation in the world by 100. So, the proof is in the pudding, I like to say, or the spinach is baked into the ice cream. This is really a cult of pedagogy. It is a cult of opportunity. It is a cult of excited, engaged learners who want to grow something greater. And we're just determined to keep scaling and keep growing. I'm super excited about the entire CEA and urban ag industry. Now more than ever, people need to know where their food comes from. Now more than ever, people want food that is grown and not flown. Hyper local systems, rooftop gardens, rooftop farms. I'm so excited about indoor ag tech, I may spontaneously self-combust.
It's a super exciting curriculum and you got there. I'm honestly curious. Do you have to be a teacher to use this curriculum, or do you just have to have like the will and the way?
Well, I think will and way are very important. And let me be clear. Let me take it back to the entrepreneurial strand. Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. So again, you don't have to be great to start. You have to start in order to be great. But, just believe in yourself. But this curriculum is specifically designed for schools, daycare centers, after-school programs, clubs. It really takes the art and science of growing vegetables and makes it fun, whether it's the math, the reading, the science, the technology piece, the cooking piece, the marketing piece. We were really very comprehensive. It took us 2 years to develop this curriculum. We beta tested it with 30,000 students across Canada, which is a whole nother country, to make sure it wasn't influenced by me, but rather influenced by the masses. And we've literally been able to transform schools around the country. So people love it. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. We are constantly growing the curriculum, refining it, and I'm proud to be scaling across the nation.
I think part of the reason I ask is also because, I have actually a couple of friends who are teachers in Canada, but they've come across a lot of bureaucracy with their curriculums. And, I'm just wondering if you've seen people kind of find a way around that. Like if the school won't let them implement this program or something, or they say something like, we don't have the budget.
So a couple of great things there. Number one, our program is approved in Canada. We have a Canadian version that is approved. And our number one client around the world are school principals. Because the one thing that we grow is high-performing schools. And you take simple project-based learning. You give teachers the tools, the metrics, and the resources they need to engage children. And the rest happens because nature happens. When you put a seed in the ground and the seed doesn't grow, you don't blame the seed, you blame the child. You blame the environment. Similarly, when we put kids in schools and the children don't grow, we don't blame the schools, we blame the children. So connecting seeds and children and their environments is very critical. We've got to provide every organism with the fertile, opportunity and environment to grow and reach their genetic potential. And that's what growing plants teaches children, how to reach their genetic potential. We're all seeds, just waiting to grow.
So teachers, just so you know, out there, principals love this, and don't be afraid, I guess I would say.
It's also covered by a lot of pre-existing grant programs. So we've been very successful with the whole Kids Foundation and countless other grantors who actually pay for schools to get their site license for the curriculum. So this program has been proven again and again and again and again and again.
Yeah. So it's like you said, don't be afraid to just step out there, and you can do it, and not to be afraid of getting rejected or not. There are people who have done it, and I'm sure that there's, in your community alone, there's lots of people that can support a person if they want to get this done, and they do feel to get those barriers.
Let me be clear. The work that teachers do, the work that entrepreneurs do, the work that social activists do is hard. It is hard. It requires a lot of courage. And the opposite of courage is not cowardice. The opposite of courage is conformity, because even a dead fish can go with the flow. So don't be a dead fish. Get out there and swim. Take a chance. Go upstream. Go side stream. Do what you need to do. Because the degree to which we resist injustice is the degree to which we are all free. And that's, the movement that I'm a part of.
It's a great approach and a great attitude, and it's helped you, I think, get a lot of projects going underway. I remember you were telling me you have a project going on with Google now.
Well, yeah, I'm proud to have board members from Google. Google recently filmed a documentary about us as well, which will be revealed or debuted, I should say, in Amsterdam, I believe, in October of 2022. And I'm proud to be working on a cooking show with Google and some innovative ways of taking everything that we do and baking it right into Google Classroom. Because literally, you go from a box to a garden in 5 minutes if you're a man, or 15 minutes if you're a woman, because you'll read the directions and watch the video. And that's perfect for teachers around the world and very easy to put on Google and YouTube. And that's really what we're doing. We've launched a TV show called Let's Learn with Mr. Ritz. You can watch it on our website. It's had millions of views. It's about investigating, learning, and sharing, wondering. I love kids to wake up and wonder. I love them to investigate, and I love for them to learn. And of course, nobody is more excited about indoor ag tech than I am. And I feel this is the moment for CEA, urban ag, and greenhouse growing, because as the world becomes more crowded, more hungry, hotter, and resource depleted, the ability to grow food efficiently and effectively is going to be the one thing that can save us from ourselves. So I like to say it's the industry's job to grow the perfect head of lettuce. It's my job to grow those heads for the lettuce, the customers, the consumers, the innovators, and the appetite. And I'm so excited to be launching the next generation of farmers and greenhouse workers and sustainability champions. So to get together with my tribe at Indoor Ag Tech and celebrate the industry, talk about innovation, talk about collaboration, and talk about bringing everybody under the roof of growing something greater could not be more exciting to me. And I am geared up to blow the roof off, especially after Mayor Adams gives the opening welcome.
That actually brings up two interesting things. You're the keynote speaker at the Indoor Ag Tech, and you're also, I think you're working also with Mayor Adams also on a project in New York, correct?
Yes. So I was proud to be named to Mayor Adams' food transition team. In fact, just 3 weeks ago, our fourth graders were named as the first New York City food ambassadors, because I want children talking to children about healthy eating, not adults talking to children about healthy eating. And when 3 weeks later, in fact, just yesterday, we ribbon cut the first commercial farm at Yankee Stadium. My little fourth graders actually planted a commercial tower garden farm that will be feeding the community, growing food, providing access, and actually generating product that will be sold for profit at Yankee Stadium. An incredible virtuous cycle. So I'm super proud of Mayor Adams' commitment to urban ag, to wellness, to nutrition, to plant-forward thinking, and to sustainability, and most importantly, to our community. So I'm super excited about Indoor Ag Tech, and I'm planning to I'm so excited I may wet my plants, but I'm planning to bring the fire and bring the excitement and really acknowledge so many people in this industry who are helping to both feed the world, heal the world, and create meaningful economic opportunity, because that's what this is about, rooted in sustainable thinking and systems development.
Yeah. And it's an amazing opportunity for those kids to learn already entrepreneurship from a young age, to learn the power
here at
of
CS55, we sell pickles. We are home to the perfect pickle. So we sell pickles, we sell add value products. The kids grow it, they sell it, they market it. You can learn more at the Green Bronx Machine website or at the Stephen Ritz website. But, we appreciate your support. And we're just delighted to be sending a message that the South Bronx can be the heart of urban agriculture and agricultural innovation for every city in America. Because if you can dream it, you can do it. And thanks to the industry, we now have the technology to see right through it and get it done.
All right, I think we have to start wrapping up this conversation here. But there's one question I always like to ask each of the entrepreneurs when I interview them, Stephen. Really quickly, you've already kind of covered this, but what are your kind of words of wisdom for aspiring startups, aspiring entrepreneurs that maybe want to do what you've done?
Okay, so number one, stay in your lane, because what you're looking for people to do is follow you, and you can't, if you're on the highway in a car going from lane to lane to lane, people can't follow you. So stay straight, stay in your lane, know your course, stay motivated, learn from mistakes, don't be afraid to ask for help, and remember, doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will. You just have to get up and be resilient. Each failure gets you one step closer to a success. And when a customer says no, it's really not a rejection. It's just a request for more information.
And I'm sure you've experienced your fair share of failure and doubt on this journey to get where you are.
Absolutely. And every single one of them has made me stronger, prouder, braver, and bolder. And I'm just getting started.
Looking forward to watching your documentary. I'm probably going to buy this book of yours. I think I definitely want to check it out. And
you should. Double your money back guarantee. Even if you don't like it, you'll make money. That's a great proposition.
Looking forward to your speech at the Indoor Ag Tech. For those of you who haven't signed up yet, Stephen Ritz will be the keynote speaker at the Indoor Ag Tech Summit at NYC. You can join. You can basically join via. You can join in person in New York, or you can join online. We'll put the link in the description. Thank you so much once again, Stephen, for your time. Look forward to
seeing you
from the Bronx
to the world. Si se puede, and see you soon.
Today's live stream was powered by our partner, Restream. Click on or visit our affiliate partner link, restream.grsm.io/foodtechies, to receive a $19 credit towards your first subscription. When you subscribe to Restream using our partner link, we may receive a referral fee which goes towards helping us continue to produce